Well, why can't I see it?
It's funny.
Oh, there we go. Just gotta refresh. No big deal. Classic IT maneuver. You just gotta refresh.
Yep, we did it. We did our refresh key at work is always at 5.
Yep.
And so it's always like, you have a problem? I'll just hit 5.
Hit that. It'll be fine.
Is the IT guy in today? No, just hit F5.
So we are live now, getting ready to watch the Warhammer preview from LVO.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some stuff prepped for predictions here in the final minutes of what I think we're going to be seeing.
I'm not interested in the chat. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, we're get rid of that. So the preview is we can't show this on camera probably, but but we're having a few beverages. It's late, this is fun.
I took a big nap today.
I didn't. I'm very tired. I'll get a drink. But I've got some prep that I've done in order to voice my premonitions, my what I expect to see. And while we're waiting for it to start, which is still going, I'm actually going to pull some up over here, and we'll take a look. So
they're giving us some silhouettes.
Indeed.
With this countdown.
Yeah, and I've got some compilations prepped here that I'm going to take a look at.
Okay.
So what we've seen for the time remaining kind of posts they've been doing, I think I'm maybe onto something, right? So we had the 3 days to go, which I'll pull up here now. This is just a little wishful thinking here, by the way.
Yeah.
That I'm desperately hoping get more Skaven. I had sent in our group what I thought looked like very dexterous other kind of elfy creatures from part of these previews, and we had one today or 2 days ago that I think might be a different angle of this video that we had. Of like the war dancer looking thing. I think this crest that we've got here on top of this guy's head is likely dead on what we're seeing here. I think we might be getting a unit of Lumineth.
Another Lumineth house.
Yeah, I think they're going to be like dexterous, sneaky elves with lots of dual weapons. This one's got like some kind of clave or like whatever. This one looks like it might have swords. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, we can also see based on hit slide number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving. Based on something like this, where we had this photo down here, which you can't really see very well because of our faces. We had this photo here that a buddy of ours said that this looks like the head of an incubus or like maybe the unarmored helmet of some kind of Drukhari. Perhaps
maybe they need some love.
If you can see it, it's got like a bald head, pointy ears, which I think is what there's up there at top, and what is clearly like some kind of a top knot ponytail with a bone through it. If you'll see here, there's like fat end of the bone, sharp end of the bone here, very indicative of Drukhari. So we might have like a new Archon or something along those lines. We had a couple other things that we might pay off here. I've been theorizing there's going to be a maybe like an inquisitorial update soon is what I'm thinking is what we're getting. This absolutely could be the pet or a familiar of some kind of inquisitor. Absolutely
murder cat.
Yep. We had the Custodes model in one of the videos, which brightened up here. You can see is clearly Custodes, Guardian Spear and all. We also knew that Horus Heresy was getting a couple things. I think the thing we saw tonight might be part of the banner of the Solar Auxilia, as you can see on his little post over here.
Yep.
It's got the same kind of like plaques mounted on the post, and then it's got the wings with a shield or something. The only thing that's throwing me off is the lightning bolts. I mean, maybe like long shot we could get some kind of payoff with white scars or something. Maybe.
I have no idea.
But
usually these silhouettes were pretty.
But to me, that looks like the exact same thing, right? If you look at that and look at the guy's like mounted pole there, like that's the same thing. It's got the wings and everything. So that's what I think that is. We have next up this batch here lots of
Right.
like battlefield debris, terrain,
Which we suspected Steel
gribblies,
Legion.
minefields, mines, bullet holes. I'm still on the board of Steel Legion.
It's tough because so much of that is just like terrain.
Yeah.
Or
But it's stuff on the bases.
field
And
effects.
it's like, where are you fighting? You're fighting here in, this battlefield. Steel Legion are all about that. Next up, we have
Oh, they've got their tribute going right now.
what is obviously the Kroot assembled
Oh yeah,
teasers.
yeah.
This tail here is definitely the Kroot cavalry cavalry we've already
Whatever
seen.
that beast is, yeah.
And the other three are in my mind, sort of Krootish. We had.
They might end up getting a lot of space.
Yeah.
In the,
We have this beautiful one that is clearly
Chaosy.
lots of different little chaosy bits. I mean, some kind of update here to Dark Oath. You've got the hooves, you've got the spikes, you've got the
that'd
spears.
be awesome if they
All of
got
that.
a
I'm
unit.
hoping it's not just a character.
Right. I would love if it's a Dark Oath cavalry unit.
I would love that too.
I'd play the heck out of that.
I say these kind of all tie together. We're not sure about this one. There was one other rumor engine that had like a hand, sort of maybe a blue or pink horror hand,
Right.
like palming a fiery basketball of energy that could tie in maybe with some kind of a
Right.
demon update. I could see that Maul, like you had pointed out, being some sort of update to a Tzeentch
Yeah.
demon or herald or something like that.
Because we have no idea how like zoomed in that is.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's
most heralds or most of the Tzeentch models are way goofier than this.
yeah.
But we haven't gotten a Tzeentch model, a new Tzeentch model, in a long time. They might go more visceral. They might go more detailed teeth
Yeah.
and beaks and stuff, as opposed to
Yeah, their last big update was when they got the bird and the Zangors and all that.
and that was still a very long time ago.
Yeah.
So
I mean, outside of Underworlds, they haven't.
and the Underworld
And
stuff
Underworld's
has
is
been
always the
really
weirdest.
weird.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool, but weird.
So there's that. We know what we're gonna see. And I think I'm gonna tie the I don't know, the jizz with the poison.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, come on, what is that?
The mansplosion there. Yeah. Why would they even show that?
But it's like ectoplasm
It even
or,
looks
or
opaque
poison
white,
splash, whatever it is. I could see some of these kind of going together.
Big chemically
Yeah,
atmosphere.
exactly. So that's what's on the docket for based on rumors we've gotten, the videos we've gotten. I mean, I think it's pretty clear what we're going to get for Horus Heresy.
Yep.
I mean, or at least on the surface. I think we're going to see Lumineth. We're going to see Dark Oath, something, whether a campaign or a new update or something for AOS. I think 40K. I mean, we know what armies are getting books next, right? We just looked this up recently. It's in no particular order: Orcs, Custodes, Tau, Chaos Space Marines.
Yep.
So some of those bits with like the Varangard bits we were looking at could absolutely be Chaos Space Marines. I mean, look at
Some cultists.
or look
demon
at
horses.
the spikes that are on the Hell Turkey. What's it called? Oh, the Helldrake.
That's
I mean,
a good kit.
the
by way.
Helldrake look like they could have those kind of bits on them. I could absolutely see that instead of being a fantasy or an AOS chaos bit, could absolutely be something for Chaos Space Marines.
Mhm.
But knowing those 4 books are coming, we know that those are the ones that are likely going to be targeted with previews, right, and
Yeah.
reveals. So we know there's a new big mech of some kind coming, because we were talking about it, and the only big mechs they have in plastic at the moment are the ones that come in the Mega Knob kit.
Yep.
You have to sacrifice a Mega Knob to make a
The guy who's got the photo booth on his head.
the big mech in Mega Armor. But otherwise, I mean, all you have is like the regular mech that came out in a box with the mech shop, right? Remember that little train
Yes.
kit? And it's, I don't know, it was released on its own, but it's an aged kit, and it's not. It's like getting your lord and then not your overlord for Necrons, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've done away with lords now, so that's a moot point. But that's getting all the lieutenants and not having a captain.
Yep.
So like, this is their upgraded
Maybe,
version
yeah.
of mech. But I don't have a photo of it handy, but it is a pretty beautiful looking model. From the angles we have.
And I don't know if it's a character who's been in a story or anything.
I mean, it could be either. I mean, I'm fine with it being generic character. That would be absolutely fine with
Yep.
me, because that fills that role, that missing model. But that's what we're probably going to get forwards. Then maybe some more. We see that Custodes character
Yep.
of some kind. We know that's happening. We've seen the Kroot bits plus the still of the Kroot from that video.
I think the
Tower
AOS one.
getting
I think the
something.
AOS ones were harder to discern.
I agree.
The 40K ones, it was pretty like.
But the fourth army, which we haven't really seen anything for, is Chaos Space Marines. Like we don't know specifically what they're going to get, but they're like fourth in line to get.
I mean,
to get
they got to update super late 9th with all those different cultists and possessed units.
Yep.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe this will be more.
I mean, if they got their chosen kit was newer.
Yeah.
They got obliterators. They got the possessed. They got all those like chaotic cultists.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff. They got what are the Havocs aren't that old, right?
No, that was a newer kit.
Yeah, and so
I remember when
a new Demon Prince. Like they worked on quite a bit
when they had the Havocs on display at Gen Con 1 year before you could buy them.
Yep. That they was like one of the first Marines that they upgraded to the bigger base size.
Yep.
And they also went up to T5, I think.
Yeah, they were T5 and
they were
40 mils.
chunky. Super cool.
Yeah. So they could.
Yeah. So the trivia, which we've just kind of ignored.
Yeah, they did an Adepticon.
I mean,
too.
it's hard to tell whether the trivia is indicative of anything, if it's pointing out something, if it's supposed to be making you think of something as the preview's coming up. I'm kind of the opinion that it's not always like because one of the previews we saw live, it was talking about all the Primarchs,
right,
and nothing came out about that.
No.
It was like a new edition announcement, so they wanted to make you think of the Primarchs, but then it didn't pay off.
Nope.
So I mean, it's time. It's 11. We should be starting here pretty soon.
Should see Eddie and whoever come up, right?
Yep. So far, we're just looking at the starting soon
exciting
screen.
And the Las Vegas Open, we were talking earlier, historically has just been a site for large tournaments.
Yep.
Like the biggest by number Warhammer 40K tournament I know was there when Frontline predominantly ran it. I don't know if they still do, but it's become a little more event-y. I know they moved it to a bigger site a couple of years back, and from what I've seen from the people who've already shown off some footage there on social media, it's becoming closer to a convention.
Sure.
There's like vendors there. There's other activities. I saw Sergio Calvo's doing a painting class there. Oh, looks like they're up. We got Eddie and Lewis.
Excellent. Hello, Eddie. Hello,
Eddie's
Lewis.
great.
Yeah, it's always fun to see who's hosting now. I think this duo is probably my favorite.
I mean, Eddie's always great.
Yeah, Eddie's always on there. He's been there. I mean, he's
yeah.
If you consider getting voted off the island as like your turn getting rotated off of this, he's made the cut every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple who just I don't know, aren't as interesting. They usually bring someone who's a lore expert.
Sure.
But gotta match that nerd energy.
Yeah. You gotta have good dynamic between the two, and not kind of derail the excitement by just I don't know.
Right.
Drowning you in lore.
And
no
voice modulation, lore.
Yeah. So the LVO preview, I guess, was already done.
Right. They give it to us after it's in person.
Yeah,
they do that with Adepticon now too. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I mean that's cool. I'm fine with that. Like as long as it doesn't get spoiled, because I was poking around a little bit, and I still no spoilers whatsoever,
which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, most people don't have their phones busted out there.
Well, they specifically tell you, hey,
right,
no phones,
and then they drip them online once they've shown the online version.
Yeah.
Then they start putting it up on.
Yeah, it's like don't ruin it for everybody by posting your own
I like it.
Your own potato photos.
Mm-hmm. everybody's signing off or citing where they're from.
Yeah.
Got about 15,000 in there now. I mean, for this late at night, that's pretty impressive. I mean, the daytime ones, they get 20.
Well, I mean, think about it. East Coast is midnight on a Thursday. Like, who's prepping for that? I mean, we would, but
we would love these events.
Yeah, this is kind of like my highlights.
Yep.
Like, these are like I've been waiting for this. Right, we've had a few weeks where it's been kind of, but this is
because the cool
exciting
stuff's like always available for the holidays, but then they're not showing much during.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of times the holidays is when stuff is paid off. Right, we've known about stuff for months, and it's finally come for the holidays, and then we get into convention season, and then we start seeing the new stuff that's gonna be coming out summer and winter of this following year. So, and also to note, we are seeing 6 games today.
Yeah.
The 6 major ones, call it.
Yep.
AOS 40K, Heresy, right?
Yep.
Horus Heresy. We are seeing Kill Team.
Yep.
We are seeing Underworlds, and we're seeing Warcry.
Yep.
That's the 6 big ones.
These mandrakes for Kill Team?
I mean, we are seeing mandrakes. Yeah,
those are mandrakes.
Yeah, that's absolutely mandrake. Because I mean, there were rumors.
Yeah.
That's one of the hands we were talking about. One of the chaosy hands, palming an orb.
And they're going against the Night Lords.
Yep. Interesting dynamics they're doing there. Some of the aesthetics look very much like the newer Shadow Elves for Daughters of Cain, where they have those like ripply sort of. I don't know if you call them like you're skipping as your arm is moving, sort of ripples through the air.
Right.
Because I mean, this was a rumor from a while back.
It was
that it was Mandrakes versus Night Lords, and we had seen.
And they showed off the Night Lords
coming out,
in
a box like this, where Night Lords were like, "This is coming out by itself."
Right.
But now we're seeing like this is actually going to be a 2-player box of upgrade sprue Chaos Space Marines plus the actual Mandrake.
And those Night Lord bits look exactly like you expect them to. What a cool way to do it.
This is really exciting. I'm gonna pull some stuff up here while we are looking.
Well, I'm glad the Mandrakes finally paid off. We guessed that.
Yeah.
That they'd be here. Solves a couple rumors.
Huh. Yeah, so super cool. And you can see kind of where the bodies of the actual Chaos Space Marines are.
Yeah. Yep.
And then where the bits are. Like I can see like the core of them here.
Oh, you're right. So this.
Yeah, like and then we've got this like shadowy sort of wave here that looks very much like those Shadow Elves from AOS.
It's like a cross between that and the Death Leaper's flesh cape.
Yeah, a little bit. And then this hand here that we're seeing is a teaser engine.
Boy, I tell you what, that studio went ham with that fluoro there.
Yeah,
that's I wonder if that's a paint line they're going to do eventually, because I don't think GW has their own fluoro, do they?
Super cool. I don't think so.
No, those look great though, because they still invoke the originals. But now they're plastic.
I'm looking at the hands, I'm looking at the feet, looking at the heads to see if anything looks like a payoff. I don't know. Yeah, I think this one here, this one with the shadowy cloak, is the head from the preview.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can see how big the hair is, makes it really round, and the ears poking out in the bone. That Mandrake leader, or whatever that special one is there, was one of the 3 from the preview. ET, like the what's coming sort of
I like
teaser.
That they've got 10.
Yeah,
that's something, because that's always been a specialist unit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe when they get their codex, their unit size will adjust or whatever. Because I think there were 5s. You could take them.
I think they look pretty phenomenal.
Those are great. Yep.
I'd kit bash those.
Yeah, I mean they're not wearing anything.
I mean,
there's
nothing about them that makes them look like
specifically 40K.
Right, like all their hands and flesh and stuff looks like it could just be flesh colored instead of being shadowy black. Just random warlocks and wizards and stuff.
Oh yeah,
you can absolutely use that for anything.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and to go to I guess nightmare-y
Yeah.
factions in the same
Yeah.
box.
All
That's
about
kinda
like fear.
cool.
Yeah. That's a good theme for it, right? That's the name of the box is Nightmare, and it's all about terror and shadow and
Yeah.
subterfuge and stuff, which is Kill Team. You know, we had kind of guessed that was going to happen, right? With Kill
Yeah.
Team, it was this kind of matchup.
Well,
like
and
we had said before,
I think
it
they
was a
found
rumor.
a formula too, like
Yeah.
how to release these units that
Yeah.
long have needed upgrades in 40K or plastic or whatever. It's a
Like
great-
I still think it's interesting that they decided to do this for Night Lords,
Yep.
because maybe it's forecasting a little bit of what we're going to see from the Chaos Space Marine book. Maybe there'll be something more than just detachments. Maybe Night Lords will be a thing. You know what I mean? Maybe Terror Troops or something, or one of the detachments will be so Night Lord themed.
Yeah.
You know, that
Well,
it's
like the Space Marine Codex and like Space Marines in past iterations,
Mhm.
I think this is an opportunity for them to release upgrade sprues for all the undivided ones.
Yeah.
You know, to so you can design them to look instead of just paint them to look the way you want.
Yeah. Or, you know, try to go get bits from Forge World or bits from somewhere else that make them
Right.
look like the chapter or the Legion you want. The terrain is interesting. It looks like it's designed to go with the new platforms that came out with the Scouts.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't mind it. There were some terrain pieces that we didn't really know about if they were going to release or not, because we've seen them in some background photos of, you know, in codexes and in White Dwarf photos and stuff. There's just been terrain that we just have no idea about,
Yep.
and some of this might be some of the pieces. Hell, I mean, even there could be some rumor engines on just that one piece they were showing alone.
We're back to the Eddie. Oh, it means we're about to get to our next thing.
Yeah, we're gonna move on. Well, I mean, not a huge surprise. It was a good. That was a
I'm
good
glad though they
starter.
kick it
you
off
know?
with a small game,
Yeah, absolutely.
but it's 2 fully new products.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, so it is Lumineth versus.
So this is the War Cry.
Oh, so this is Warcry. Interesting. So it looked like Lumineth versus Ghosts.
Mhm.
Nice.
So they did Kill Team and then the AOS
Yep.
equivalent in War Cry.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, those look great.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, please sign me up. Those are phenomenal.
Yep.
Yep, and so you see like the mares and the. Ooh. Oh, these ghosts. All right, so I must say they have really stepped up their game designing the Night Haunt, because
already.
early Night Haunt were kind of boring. These newer ones are so bizarre. I love them.
Well, they needed it because before it was all just like skeleton heads and capes.
Yeah.
Skeleton heads and capes.
Yeah. So Lumineth end. So I mean, let me pull up my cheat sheet again here. Let's see. It was Lumineth. Yes, and Ghosts. But it's not the poison ones. I maybe the poisons won't be part of this. We'll see when we get a better view.
Pyre and Flood.
Yeah, when we
So
get a better
Flood is
view.
their
of that.
water house, right?
Well, probably.
Because
That's probably
funeral
what-
pyre
that's-
is like what
yeah.
I'm thinking for the.
The pyre's like fire.
Yeah.
Right? That's them and their braziers of ghostly energies. The Flood is probably because this is the water temple of the Lumineth. You can see like the. I think it's a seahorse or a hippocamp.
Yggdrasil River Blades.
Yeah, they look great. So the one in the top left there is the one from the preview teaser. You had the bottom left is the one we saw from the video. Yeah, that's got the two like pickaxes almost.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
That sells a couple.
boots. No fur on the boots. Okay, so I was
They
thinking
don't have
perhaps
boots with the fur.
So perhaps I was thinking that the furry boots that we saw for for one of the previews or one of the reveals was going to be this one. Maybe that's more of a chaos
Could be.
both kind of boot. I could see that. Yeah, they look great. I like the face masks on most of them. I think that looks pretty
It
good.
is interesting to me that it took them making specialist games like Kill Team and Warcry to upgrade infantry or add infantry to armies.
But again, it's interesting because this could have been an Idneth unit, right? Look at the guy in the middle there. He's holding a trident.
Yeah.
It looks like the trident that the island of Mathlin
Yeah,
uses.
you make them a little
You know?
more soulless looking, and then you put them in Idneth,
Yeah.
which Idneth need.
Because they need more units,
They
just
need
in
more units.
general. But I like that it's an addition as sort of a specialist unit through Warcry because it means that a new chamber or whatever isn't releasing for them. They're not going to get a new, or at least not right now.
Not yet.
A new like big monster plus a new cavalry unit plus a new infantry unit plus a new bow unit plus a new whatever.
Guy on a fox spinning in a tornado.
So they're not getting all of that. This is a Warcry release. It means that's all you get for the time being. But it still gives them something.
Yeah.
The other unit, which we're about to see, is the Night Haunt. And again, another army that's like, since its release in early second edition, well, I mean, first edition they had their release, but second edition they had an update.
Firegeists.
They hadn't received much since.
Those are wicked.
These are flaming weaponed ghosts.
Yeah, Pyregeists.
Okay, I don't see any poison, so it's all about fire for them.
Yeah, no flasks.
So while the guess of Night Haunt was right, maybe for the wrong reason, we still don't know what the poison's about. They look great though.
Yeah, they do.
I would absolutely use those, like the 3 shawled ones, as like
I'll be interested to see
banshees
what
or something.
their AOS role will be.
Yep. It's gonna be more elite. It's gonna be more fighty.
They've got
Because like they look,
possibly magic attacks, which can lead to mortal wounds or something.
they look armored. They look beefier than your normal ghosts. I can see them being more elite.
Yeah, it could be cool.
Yeah, I like them. You know, and it's like, I'm glad they're leaning more into this sort of aspect, because we've seen like the fire and the you know, look at like Hex Wraiths, for example, right? The fire, the ghost fire has kind of been there as part of the arsenal for a while. We just haven't really leaned into it, right? You got the candles for Reichner. He snuffs out candles, and he's got some of these like ghostly flame effects a little bit, but these guys are all in on
What are
it.
his shoulders made of, that leader guy?
Yeah.
It's like they're little cages, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of lean into that too.
it looks like it's a empty Nurgle drone
Yeah.
that he's.
Yeah, like it's like, you're right. It does have that shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've kind of had this iron-bound cage sort of aesthetic on a lot of their stuff, because they're like, think about them as like soul jailers. You know, the ghosts that steal souls and throw them in a cage, and then they haul them back.
Well, and they've really differentiated the 4 death factions.
Yeah.
How many are there?
4 now.
4.
Yeah. So you have the vampire heavy with classic undead, right? Skeletons, zombies, that kind of stuff. You've got the bone constructs that are the bone reapers. You've got the flesh eater ghouls that have just recently come out with a new Battle Tome book update. And then you've got these guys, the ghosts, which were all,
Like in olden times, people would have been like, why don't they just put them all? It's like, well, now they're all getting big enough,
right?
That they don't.
Like this, you're right. It would have been like a full army.
Yeah.
Before you can bring any of it. Now it's like there's 4 separates.
That's a great big piece of
terrain for. It's interesting. I don't know what it is.
Idol of the Old Ones.
So they're not. I guess they're not finished with the Gur themed terrain yet, which means I need to get more terrain.
That face looks very Slan-like. You notice that?
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to. I think it's absolutely supposed to. Yeah,
and that's what it was that crashed in the place.
Yeah, if you look, that's what like some of these pieces of terrain over here are for Warcry. Is their crashed temple ship bits and stuff like that.
Is.
I don't know.
There's a skull on the base over there at the left.
So it might be pretty large.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good call. So
That's
pretty decent. 3-4 inches wide. It's pretty slick. I wonder if they're going to do a box set again, or if they're going to break these up, where it'll be like the actual models and then the terrain separately. Because that's the way they did it last time around.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I want my models and my terrain together. I don't want to have to.
I can see how there's people who only want to get the models for their proper army.
But that's what the
Warband Tome.
But that's what the release, 2 months down the line is, when they release them as separate unit boxes.
Yep.
So they've been doing these Warband Tomes for a while. Okay, there's an idea of how big it is then. No idea if the other stuff in the background is new or old. It looks old to me. I think it's already released.
Or it's made up.
So this might be the 2 war bands plus 1 piece of terrain in 1 box together. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, the piece of terrain's like a tank sized.
Yeah. They most of these releases with the 2 war bands come with a battle tome, basically a warband tome.
Crew.
They jumped right into it right away. So for 40K, I'm assuming that was a Kroot raising a hand, a Shaper perhaps. You've got a melee weapon. Doesn't look like a. Yeah, okay. Kroot hair for sure. Armored. Interesting. There's your Krootox, your Kroot Rider.
Back is unleashed.
Looks like new carnivores plus a new Shaper. That was the guy raising the arm there. A new Kroot. Oh man, they look so good. Are you kidding me? A new Krootox, even. That's slick. New Kroot Rampagers, which are Kroot heavy infantry, heavy mounted infantry kind of thing.
That was a new character type. Was the
that's cool.
Shaper.
And then they're showing off. This is
the special edition art for Tau. Yeah.
I will note that the little lizard dinosaur thing, I don't think was part of that.
Didn't see that.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
There's a different heavy cavalry, and I'll pull up some photos.
Well, and so, and it also could be the thing that this ends up launching in like a starter box together, this Kroot stuff, and that ends up a separate.
Right. Yeah. Very interesting. Oh, that is cool.
Those are great. What a choice the Heavy Metal team made to paint them all different.
Yeah, and it's just like a solid upgrade, right? From the old ones to these, there's looks like 1 special weapon in the squad.
Still invokes the original aesthetic, but updated sweet plastic, like we saw with Termagants, like we saw with Scouts, like we saw with Necron Warriors. Like, love when they do this.
Looks like 10 unique sculpts too. I don't see duplicate legs. No, I do. Top right, bottom right. 2 bottom left ones are duplicates.
Maybe.
Interesting.
It could be 2 sprues with like 5 legs, 5 torsos, but then a million heads and arms. Like,
So again,
either way, that's great.
Again, they are calling them Kroot carnivores.
Yep.
Which is awesome. That it's not some other unit, right? Because when they released for Kill Team, it was a brand new unit. Actually, Eddie's saying that right now. Is the new ones were a completely different unit, different rules, different role, different battlefield role, different units. Different heroes can join them, different special weapons, different costs, all that.
That's great though. It gives them just more.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the next batch. That's what I'm excited for. Show me more. Flesh Shaper. Okay. Which
so
again,
a new character type. I guess, right?
But it's maybe they might have expanded the name of it, right? Because it was a Kroot Shaper before, is what it was called.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, there was definitely another one holding his hand up with a rifle or.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is this one?
This might be like a shamanistic
has what looks like a shotgun
of,
and 2 hand weapons.
Yeah. He looks some more. He's got some bones on him. He's got some.
Yeah.
Some more decorations.
That's a cool looking character.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great.
Well,
and
just the layers.
My thing that I like about him is he's covered in knives too.
Yep. Gotta have them knives.
Yep.
Like it.
I love it. I'm a big fan. I mean, not only because I'm a Tau player. Tau was the first army I ever collected. I got the starter box with the Kroot plus Shaper plus the old metal, mummy, ethereal back in what, 2nd or 3rd edition. That was
3rd edition's when Tau came out.
Yeah, that was 3rd edition. That was the box that I started with. Was that one?
So here's the War Shaper.
So that is the Flesh Shaper, beautiful. And then we have the War Shaper, which
looks like 2 different builds.
Might be more similar to
the original Shaper.
Right. Interesting.
So giving you 2 different character types.
Yeah.
And look at his radically different builds.
Yeah. Bow and a
boomerang.
Ninja
Star.
I forget what it's called. Yeah, regardless. This just TriStar, like, throwing weapon.
And that one on the left is a little more close to what
The original shaper.
I think people think about. But wow, the heavy metal team painted that. They really went for it.
Yeah, look at all like the tribal markings. I will note
look at the beaten metal plate on his chest.
Yeah. I will note that the bottom right photo is one of the room engines. Is that that like Kroot leather cloak with the arrows? And then this.
Rampagers. What a sexy looking unit.
Love it. Kroot Rampagers. Beautiful. So these are like Krootoxes.
Does that foot on the rock satisfy anything? Left or right? Far right?
No, but I think this hand, one of these big Krootox hands, does satisfy one. If I recall correctly.
Those are great. Wow, those are good.
It might be like one of these ones. So we've got the cloak. We've got the. We'll see the guns here in a second with the new Krootox. But I think this right hand, or this hand right here, this left hand might be. So this one on the one in the middle here.
So while they did get a cavalry unit,
not the one we were expecting.
The other one might actually be a character.
Yeah, the other one might be a character then. Yeah.
But I'm fine with that because they got this.
Yeah.
This I didn't expect. Those look spectacular.
Yeah.
Those look freaking great.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very monkey-like, which I know is going to trigger some folks that we know who don't enjoy monkeys, of any kind. But yeah. Look at this one on the left. Oh man, I love that. That's so good. It looks like they are no guns. Well, maybe this guy's got a pistol, but they're mostly no guns, just throwing spears and close combat weapons. Yeah, and then the new Krootox rider.
He's big. Yeah, look at that.
A bunch of new weapon options. So again, this one satisfies one of the room engines. That's the double barrels we saw.
And that gun on the left is new.
Yeah, look at him hunching down like that. He is a slow mover.
Oh, and he's got 2 head options.
Yep.
Look at that.
Wow. I love it.
Handful of grenades on his back there.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal.
Just crushing it. This is extreme, and I hope they never do it, but you could almost make a whole separate army of these guys if you pushed out a couple more kits.
Yeah.
No, this is great though, because it'll be nice to see it for Tau, to see Kroot.
I mean,
that is a box set. Okay.
I don't think it's what most Tau players were looking for. Right? Is expanding their Kroot is not the direction they wanted to go with their army. But if they're good enough, that's the thing. Yeah. I love it. And those Rampagers, man.
Yep.
That's the highlight for me.
They do it.
2, so both characters, 4 total Krootox of the 2 kinds, and then 10 new carnivores. I love it.
That's 20 carnivores.
2 units of 10. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And it looks like maybe that's the first place you get the book.
That could
Does
be.
the new book come in that? That is a bold choice.
And
hey, you want to get the book early? Buy these new Kroot for your own.
Yeah. I bet one of the detachments will feature.
I feel like I'm the only Tau player I know that even considers playing Kroot, even to like this day. I love Kroot. Kroot have always been the all-stars in every single one of my armies.
If they're going to release these really cool models,
yeah,
I bet they'll give them some playables. I don't think you'll be able to field a whole army of Kroot. Mm-hmm. That's just not. Like, Tau will always feature Tau.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if you can get whatever that is, 600 points or, whatever of your army, just be that.
Like I said, I think we know more Kroot's coming. Like, maybe they'll show us here in a second.
That one guy has to be a writer.
But like we had the tail and we had I don't have it handy. Or do I? This guy. Right? We've got this available where this is clearly like a scout Kroot with the tail was one of the teasers. So that I can already tell you satisfied the rumor engine. That was a Darza Kane kind of staff. That was one of them. An unruly ally. Okay. I called it. That's awesome. Kern Hellbrand type. It's a elf with wings. Yeah. With feathery wings. Actually that fulfills like 3 or so. Her name is.
So this is for the campaign.
Yep. This is a new one. Crethusa is her name.
Crone Seer. Oh, she looks so good.
Yeah. So that satisfies at least 3 room engines right there.
So there's those wings.
There's the wings with the hair, which I had pointed out, right? The hair was in there. That staff tip is one of them. And then these crows here on the rock.
You know, they painted her a little boring, but
but
that's a centerpiece model.
I love it. Ooh. That's super cool. Now, I love it. I don't have any complaints about that. I love that she's just simple.
No, I think the model design is spectacular. I think they didn't paint it as well as they could have, because they did black and white but didn't make it exciting.
Sure.
Like there's no volume in the wings, but the model itself is wonderfully simple.
Yeah. I love it. Interesting.
So they're talking about the old worship of
bringing
Chrome.
back some old gods. Super interesting.
Yeah, I love it.
Man, okay, so they are doing a new campaign box, which is lots of other Melusai. And what are they called? The Kenabrai? The winged girls. That was what the box had, right? It was like 10 of them plus her.
That's another army that needs units too, though, and not just more characters.
Yeah. I mean, they're in an okay spot, right? So they've got their witches, your Sisters of Slaughter. You have your 2 versions of the winged girls. You got 2 versions of the snakes. You have your cavalry, your warlocks.
Oh, but those are so old.
They are. Yeah, they are. But they're part of the Doomfire Warlocks. You have the new unit, the Canite Shadow Stalkers from Warcry were brought in. It's a decent number of units. It's
Warcry stuff.
It's not bad.
I like listening to Eddie talk about Age of Sigmar.
Yeah,
you can tell he's a huge fan of the world. So are we.
And it has 5 Doomfire Warlocks in it, by the way.
It's fine.
So it's okay. So no winged girl. Sorry, I thought it had the winged one. So 5 cavalry, 10 sisters /
So she's on like a 50 or 60 mil base. They made her elven sized. She's just on an elaborate piece of terrain.
I love it. I think that's of like the Dawnbringers, type of individual character. I think she might be one of my favorites. I like her a lot.
I think it's interesting to me that Marathi is fine with the worship of Crone.
And maybe she's not. Maybe that's a point of contention. We've got book 5 for the Dawnbringers, which is heavily influenced with Flesh Eater Courts and Daughters of Cain. Oh! Hey, that's a witch hunter.
That does look like a witch hunter.
Okay. Yep. There's Del Pistol. Oh, what the?
There's the evil cat.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it looks like this is the warband, maybe from Hammer Bolter. Yeah. That's what these 2 guys are. Plus, it looked like there was a handful of other models in there that I saw were new. There was a Stormcast guy with like a shield. Maybe it's a new Liberator kit?
Shadow of the Crone.
By the way, maybe it's a new Liberator kit? Maybe they're not going to show us the rest of those models. That was the only teaser we get.
So it looks like the big moment in this book is the resurrection of an old deity.
In some way? Yeah.
Because this shaman they were describing has somehow tapped into it, even though it was long forgotten. But yeah, I'm surprised Marathi would allow it. Yeah. Because isn't she a god now? Like that's
small g. God.
Small g.
Because she's achieving godhood. I don't know if she's god. Because she's been basically tricking people into worshiping Cain, and through Cain worshiping her. Because Cain is gone, really. Yeah. And so like all of the worship of Cain is actually flowing into her. So she's not Nagash. She's not Sigmar.
Right.
She's not even Teclis. Right, she's godly.
Like Archaon, because he does that, where he can telepath and people worship him. Yep. Oh, look at that.
So they are going to show us
they've got a new bird dog.
Yeah, Griffhound there.
How many are there now? We were trying to think about that.
So many. Yeah. So we have at least 3 characters we saw in Hammer and Bolter. That's Callus and Toll in the middle there. The top left girl is one of the people that survived the encounter with the Night Haunt, or the Flesh eaters? I don't know.
Soul-like
Whatever the
creatures,
vampire
wasn't it?
was. It was very ghoulish, though.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know who the girl on the left is, and I don't know who the Stormcast there on the right is. I like him. He looks great. But a new bird dog as well. Saviors of Cinderfall.
That one with the double pistols is money.
Yeah.
Love that character.
I hope he's real good, too. I do. I hope he's phenomenal. I'm a sucker for witch hunters. I love the idea of hunting down witches and
monsters
and wizards and demons and hunting the beasts in the dark. Yeah,
Yep.
I love that.
Well, and like lieutenants, they've now made so many in a newer style plastic, and they just don't get old.
But what's interesting is they don't really have a true war band, right? They don't have a true witch hunter unit. It's all these witch hunters are all just like characters. So if I tried to field a witch hunter army, it's just a bunch of character units, unique character units. This is another one, you know.
Yep.
So,
I mean, you need badasses. You need specialists.
Yeah, but who fills out your army in a witch hunter?
Witch hunter maybe doesn't have an army. I mean, they do this.
Yeah.
They're spec ops, you know. Although you do have a tank, you've got a Stormcast with you.
No. Again, maybe a new Liberator, by the way.
Yeah. He's got that big key on his back. That's cool.
Yeah.
I thought we saw him in an episode of Warhammer Plus, but
I don't recall. You might be right. I don't remember, though.
Whatever the case, that's a cool looking unit.
Yeah. See, I thought the cat there.
Yeah.
The cat is huge, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be more like Rogue Trader or Inquisitorial Warband or something like that. But I think it's cool that it showed up here.
Yeah. Or even Necromunda,
Yeah.
with the decor she's got on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
But, with the exception of a handful of basic infantry, the heavy metal team too has really been up in their game.
Yep.
They've been doing.
Well, they do a really good job of making these characters here look like what they're supposed to. Like you look at them and man, they did a really good job painting the 4 headlines on Callus. They did a really good job giving the mutton chops that grade, kind of grimy.
Your double pistol guy there. It's they even did the facial lighting well.
Yeah.
They put wear marks in leather now. We've seen them do NMM.
Yeah, I mean look at his gauntlets. Look at his metal gauntlets. Look how much wear they've got on them that probably is not sculpted. Or his knee pad. It looks great.
Yep.
It turns out too, Black Library tie-in, there's a new book coming out for the two of them. So I was hoping for that.
Oh, a little more.
We also have maybe more. It's Underworld.
Underworlds.
Okay. Looks like
things.
I don't know yet. Another weird monkey dog.
That little Wendigo looking thing.
I don't know what this is yet. It's definitely death,
yeah.
But what are they? Okay, that satisfies. That was a staff that satisfies Rarenja, by the way. They might just be Soulblight. Yeah, it's like zombies and whatever that is.
Yeah, that creature's phenomenal.
Super cool. I think he's like a necromancer or something.
Grave breakers.
Interesting. Okay. Very interesting.
Just Death Warband is what they said.
With it being zombies, it's got to be Soulblight as an Huh. Okay.
That bat wolf thing is something.
By the way, this staff is a Rarenja.
Scratches off a Rarenja.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was her love. Became that.
Guess so. Interesting. I'll tell you a little secret. There is no cure. Never is.
They're stuck.
Right? Once you've transformed, there's no going back.
It's over.
You can't untransform.
There was an episode of Regular Show where one of them got the curse of the were skunk, and you only have so much time to actually reverse it. Otherwise, once you hit a certain peak, it's over.
Yeah.
You can't go back.
And that's what we're looking at here. Weird monkey.
I
monkey wolf
do
beast.
wish sometimes we would play the game because
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
And they do this. They release these packs that are just
I mean, I get
phenomenal.
a lot of them, and I paint the models.
Yeah.
Like the models look
and
phenomenal.
now it's its own category.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole competitive, specifically intended competitive board game / game system thing is not fully up my alley. That's why I don't care to play a lot of those types of games. You know, where it's,
But I mean,
I don't know.
but there's not much in the way you would ever have to worry about in terms of list building. By playing the optimal thing, it's like you grab your thing and you deck build, and then and it's an arena game. And it's funny, if I remember the few times I've played it, it's almost like you get 3 games in your game because like the stack resets. But super cool. The models always look great. They put a lot of design effort into them just because they're characters.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely out there.
And then what always surprises me is too is you open them and they're just push fit, but the detail is so sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, we're still waiting on Horus Heresy. They're going to close with Horus Heresy?
Which is could be here. So we've got. I saw some Solar Auxilia in that. I saw one of the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, it's a whole bunch of that.
I mean, they look good. So okay, some armored transports. The old Lehman Russ, an old fashioned Lehman Russ. A heavy Sentinel. Whatever that
The
is.
Las Rifle Squadrons.
Van Ad reinforcements. A Malkador, plastic Malkador.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The Storm, and so we saw that in the preview video. I'm not sure if that checks off anything though. Okay. So new Solar Auxilia box.
We figured they would do that.
A new tank and a new veteran squad.
But you make a bunch of plastic now. People can add this to their stuff.
Yeah. I love the look of the old-fashioned Lehman Russ. I would absolutely get those if I played guard instead of the newer ones.
Yeah.
Because it's just a new kit. You know, it's a new kit.
You get that kit. You get the new Rogel Dorn kit, which looks great. Yeah. You know, when you read the stories from the Horus Heresy era, the humans were relevant. Like, they themselves didn't do... Whenever you read the human soldiers, they do nothing. No matter what weapons they're wielding, they do nothing.
I had someone tell me the other day, though, that there is one type of human soldier that even Space Marines fear, and it's like these guys. The Solar Auxilia. Because they're reinforced first void armor is like Terminator armor. It's just get out of here. No. Sorry.
Every time there's an encounter, the humans describe not even being able to see the Marines because the Marines move so fast. Yeah. And then the Marines just like run through them. They don't even waste their ammo. They just hit.
you just keep running and it just kills them.
But the Solar Auxilia, or the precursor to the Astra Militarum, their tanks are spectacular. That's where it lies with them. Their siege equipment, their tanks, all that stuff can compete with the Astartes. And sort of like the Sherman tank of World War II, the Solar Auxilia can mass produce it all super fast, or the Mechanicum produces it all super fast for them. Those are great, though. I like that. Even if you wanted to vary the look of your guard in 40K.
Yeah. I mean, they're just las rifles.
Yep.
I don't see a single. Maybe there's one plasma pistol power fist there.
Yeah, a little.
That's it. One strength 6 power fist coming in.
Getting you. Bayonets.
Yeah.
But we figured, and that's easy. Now you've given them plastic humans so people don't have to go to Forge World for it. A couple of plastic tanks. Yeah, I mean, even though we don't play it, from a product design, the Horus Heresy is so simple because they just have to pump out all this generic versions of stuff.
Yeah.
Let people put. Oh, I drank that one on camera. I just saw the replay. So, whoops. Sorry, YouTube.
Nah, that's fine.
Don't want to break YouTube's terms of service. Okay, and then releasing this in one great big box set.
So there was one big box. There was the veterans were separate, and then the new tank was
Yeah.
separate, which is the Malkador.
Malkador.
The Malkador is it's one of those tanks where it's like, man, this thing's badass. You know, like it rivals the Space Marine, like you said, the Space Marine vehicles. It's just, what do you have? You know, that competes with that. I mean, now there's new stuff, but back then, I don't know.
Yeah. And named after, of course, Malkador the Sigillite.
Absolutely.
One of the most badass
As
humans.
they do, they name everything after someone of renown.
Yeah.
You know, your Rogulador, like you said, is the new tank.
Which maybe he'll come back someday. Same with Leon Russ. Who knows? Those are both guys I could see them.
I'm just saying the claw of the Emperor is unclaimed as of yet.
Right? His sword and his shield are now out there.
His sword and shield, his armor, his crown, his claw. It's gotta be something else that's unclaimed, right? His cape. I don't know. He had a pretty dope cape, you know. But I heard an interesting theory about that. Right, the sword of the Emperor was given to Gilliman. Where the sword, if it was playing on the strengths, the sword should have gone to the Lion. Right. Instead, the shield went to the Lion. It's like, that's interesting. So if the claw is up for grabs, I don't think it's going to go to Korax.
You know who I think it would go to? Dorn, who's missing a hand.
That would be really funny. But it gets you out of your comfort zone, right? Like it's kind of the idea, is to expand and make their weaknesses less relevant, right? Okay. By the way, that symbol there is
that's
the one from today. By the way,
Saul's one of the rumor silhouettes.
Yeah, the one on the right here is.
Oh, look at his duelist sword there. That sort of cuirass.
And it's kind of like a rapier.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that. Yeah. So this here is definitely one of the teasers we saw. Interesting that they showed off the heavy Sentinel, because the one they had shown
had a dude on it.
In previews had like a dude hanging off the back.
But you're right; these were these proto Sentinels.
Yeah. So we look at this one. This is clearly there's a guy there.
That's a lightweight
you know what
one.
I mean?
Yeah.
There's something else going on here. Maybe it's the same kit. Maybe you just leave it open top, but.
Maybe.
Oh, we haven't seen that either, by the way.
Not yet.
Interesting. But
do we know they're going to show it at this?
We don't. I mean, we assumed, because they said stuff is coming. I mean, we assumed that was this event that was gonna show it off. I think it is funny that there are 5 main gun options for this thing, by the way, and
it's so
top and then 2 different secondary guns. That's kind of wild. Yeah, I see a las cannon, some kind of heavy flamer, an autocannon, a melta.
That structure, that's so goofy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's cool
and
looking,
the Volkite one.
And you can see in the legs that they tried to, the newer Sentinels they released for Astro Military.
I mean, have basically those legs without the second.
They invoke it.
The second strut there in the back. Huh. Yeah. So a light version of the Sentinel is missing.
Some guy riding a Kroot thing.
There's a guy riding a Kroot's missing. There's
the Dracosan tank. It's a transport tank. Why does it have a forward-facing mortar?
It might be a demolisher cannon.
It could be.
Interesting. We're also missing the Custodes. Right? I guess 40K in general. We only saw Tau.
They showed us the Kroot stuff,
right?
Yeah.
Like the other stuff, the Custodes, anything Orc, anything Chaos.
And was that preview video they did, which they did 40K Age of Sigmar and Horse Heresy? Were they saying that would all be revealed at the preview event?
I thought so. I thought, because it was a video that was just kind of like, here it all is.
Mm-hmm. So there is a Crusade or Heresy era Lehman Russ.
It looks, I mean, besides the extra rivets and stuff, and the more angular turret, it looks very similar.
Yeah.
It's a little more ornate.
More detailed, yeah. They gave it a little more updated bling.
Yeah, and basically all the guns are represented there for the Lehman Russ loadout.
That's cool.
So you don't have to worry about being like left out. If you have a particular favorite gun, version of it that's missing, except maybe the Gatling one isn't shown here.
Wow.
The Punisher.
Number of people gone up over 22,000. That's impressive. Yeah, for this time of night. Wow.
Yeah, the Punisher cannon's not on there. The Gatling.
Yep. Maybe it didn't exist back then.
Yep.
I don't know.
But, battle cannon, Vanquisher cannon, double auto cannon, double
Last thing.
Cannon. Yeah.
It's got the little rocking chair thing in the back there.
Yeah. That's the counterbalance, like,
someone fires it.
Archimedes, like, what do they call them? Sextant? Right. That measures the stars, whatever. That's what it always reminded me of. I think they are reserving a lot, by the way. I think there's a lot more coming that they are not showing us here.
Yeah, and it can't be that far away.
Yeah.
If they're showing, painted.
Yeah. But it could be like this is the first wave of a lot of this, and then Adepticon's not that far away. We can see more there.
Right.
And a lot of this stuff probably will not be out by Adepticon.
Well, and it makes me wonder. In April is Warhammer Fest.
Yeah. So how does the timing work?
They kind of do preview stuff there too. I mean, it's their own event, right? They got to. So it's there's a whole bunch of stuff that we just might not be seeing yet, especially with some of it having spring.
Yeah, I'm hoping when they wrap up here, we're gonna see a big final teaser.
Oh, by the way,
like a new Primarch or something.
Here you go. Already.
Now
we're getting them faster.
I know, really. But I mean,
I mean, between Magnus and Mortarion, or Magnus and Gilliman, or whatever it was, we waited a while. Yeah. Oh, there's another Leman Russ variant, the assault tank.
Okay. They showed. Still no Gatling cannon, by the way.
Oh, but you got a stubby one there, and a Volkite one there, and a plasma.
So this is a Demolisher cannon. You've got a Volkite. You've got a plasma. Okay, another variant.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I didn't realize how many different guns Leman Russ could take, by the way.
It's super versatile.
That's 6 different main turrets, if you exclude the one, at least the one that's missing. Was there a flamer Leman Russ?
I don't know, but I really like the way they painted that. They've got some grime streaks.
Mm-hmm.
They did a warm against cold. You got a sienna, brown, red, washed into a cold gray. Neat bit of contrast there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
spending a lot of time on this one. These are some of the elites.
I have no idea. Are these also plastic? Or are they?
Should be.
Look at those bucket heads.
Yep. Oh, I like this guy in the middle here with the Power Fist. I like him a lot. I mean, I feel like you could take some of these models and just convert them into whatever you want. This could be scions. This could be, this could be dwarves. Because they're going to be smaller scale. Remember that.
Yeah. They're going to be closer to that 25 instead of 28.
Yeah, they're kind of stunty. Oh, okay. Well, we showed you the Volkite. They can also take axes.
For no
Cool.
reason.
Look, all right.
Show us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they're basically joshing about how the humans are supposed to fight against Space Marines, and like
it's numbers.
The fact that they're given varying types of equipment. These guys were one of the options is just axes, which I think is really funny because it's like the idea of saying like, well, drive me closer, as a tank commander, I want to hit it with my sword.
Right.
It's like, why would you want to do that? Please don't. The crew is sitting there like, please just don't do that.
And then a heavy tank.
The Malkador. What I do appreciate about the Horus Heresy is a lot of these, like the design of the Horus Heresy stuff is very similar to, I feel like, real world.
Yeah.
Like our world or World War I, World War II, like tank design. Like I could see this exact vehicle, like, being something that was developed for us,
World War II especially, I think is where they're because World War I tanks were kind of an experimental.
Yeah. I mean, clearly the top bit here with a guy who's in all, sci-fi gear isn't obviously from.
But a lot of the shapes, a lot of the color schemes.
Yeah. They're just showing off the fact that there are pintle mounted things, there are sponson mounted things, there are different main cannons. Look how, I think this one's really funny. Look how dinky the Malcador tank with double las cannon looks. That is so sad looking.
Well, the gun's so small.
Yeah.
Like, pew pew.
So again, they're doing a battle group. It looks like they're doing multiple separate releases that are come alongside that. And again, stuff is missing from what they've already
what we've
teased
seen.
that go along in the same theme as the things we're seeing. So this is not all of it.
He just said there's a lot more stuff coming.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Of course there is. Like I said, there's like I just said, there is more that we've seen little teasers for that is this themed stuff. So yeah, a lot more. There was no indication about AOS's next release though, because it was just small stuff. It was a Warcry thing, and then the AOS proper was Dawnbringers. Yeah, but that's not a new book for some army. There's not a new stars. That's not a new edition.
Well, all the books are out now.
I know exactly. And so there's no new army. We know that. It's one Dawnbringers warband.
Yeah.
Last time we got 2. Before that we got 3. They're slowing down. I mean, I guess we did get the Black Library or / Warhammer TV warband for the Witch Hunters, but
yeah. And it could be with 2 more events happening in spring.
They had to space it out.
Yeah, that's tough with 3 events in the first 4 months of the year that they have to do preview stuff for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping one more little thing before they cut off. No. Oh, bummer.
That was it.
Nah, that's all right. There's a lot of cool stuff. A lot of really cool stuff we saw. I love it. Paid off a lot of our previews. The Crew, I think, was the highlight.
Well, the Crew Cavalry,
yeah,
for sure.
like that as a release was...
And they didn't show.
Yeah.
But that could be... I mean, that could even be alongside Codex stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so that starter box with the new Crew and the Codex might be the first way you can get it, but when the Tau Codex proper comes out, they might release that Crew guy riding a thing.
Yeah. Which we've seen that. Like, most starter boxes with Codex or Battletome, whatever, are a very limited scope of what new stuff is available.
Yep.
Most recently, we had the starter box for Flesh Eater Chords. And there are multiple characters that are coming out with that are in that book that just haven't released yet.
Yep.
So it's like, I mean, it's pretty standard.
And the Custodes one, that might not be till their Codex is shown.
One is missing.
But we know those books are coming.
We know they're there. So we didn't see any chaos for AOS. That was a little disappointing to me. I was hoping to see some Dark Oath. I must admit, Dark Oath I got a soft spot for. I have a lot of Dark Oath stuff.
Well, and I just want so bad for the old Marauder stuff to be gone.
Yeah.
And so that makes me wonder what form it will be released in, since the campaign's running out.
Right. This is the last book. We know what the last book is.
Yeah, and unless there is a new edition coming sometime in the summer, we don't know of them restarting any battle tomes yet.
Yeah.
Side note, I think we're almost due for a balance date of Slate and 40K soon.
I was expecting to see it tomorrow.
Might be that soon.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like, actually, I think mid-January is actually a little bit late because we should have seen an AOS one in December and we didn't, and then the 40K one comes mid-January. I mean, the way the Fridays line up, it would either be this Friday or next Friday, and if we're following traditional schedules,
and they might just drop that in tomorrow. Like, oh, by the way,
here you go. Yeah,
because people have already speculated some adjustments to Necrons.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got a little tiny adjustment in Necrons. Some of the stratagems and stuff are only are restricted, which is good, but they're still egregious. Necrons are apparently top army right now. They're so good.
But even then, they had a weekend where they went like 62%.
Yeah,
that's not huge for a relatively new army.
62 in this edition is pretty high spike. Necrons are a solid 52% army. The fact they went up 10% is abnormal for them.
They had a weekend of monumental success, but one of the egregious things was immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know for the LVO if they're using it.
Addressed in a high patch, not even like waiting for the chapter approved and the FAQ and the erratas. Like they were fixed kind of like out of nowhere because they didn't want it to be a problem going forward.
And I'll be honest, I don't know if this tournament is using that hot fix, the one going on this weekend, or if they're still playing the old way. Because if so, Necrons might end up really good.
Yeah.
They don't usually have the volume of players, but in 62% in 10th is high. It's just like, when you're used to the egregious stuff happening, it's when a new army comes out and then spikes to a 70 or something for a bit. This wasn't quite that. They just have some really good, and even with that fix, they're still going to be fine.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, we already know that like there are some great detachments and new ways to play without using the broken interactions. Like wraiths are insane. Wraiths are ridiculous with just their durability of how with their high toughness, their great invuln save, their feel no pains, their reanimations, their killiness, and the fact that for 2 CP you can get them all dev wounds. Like it's still very, very good.
And that's a big thing, is giving them a variety of ways to play is my favorite thing. But we don't know when the next book is dropping. We just know spring.
Well, Dark Angels hasn't officially released yet.
Right.
We know the date, which I believe is February 3rd, is the release date for the new box set for.
And thankfully, they didn't spend
Angels.
any of today's rumors on that.
Yeah.
This leaks, here we
go.
go.
I mean, we know about it already, so I'm glad they skipped it.
It could be they're also getting better about that.
We've already had to pre-order it. We put numbers into pre-order those box sets. So.
Well, and
it's ready to go.
They're getting better about that, where when they would be preparing for a preview event, something would leak, and they go, sorry, this 10 minutes we're going to spend.
Well, now we're going to show it to you anyway.
Yeah. And now they don't do that. Now it's like if something leaks, they just do a page on Warcom.
The biggest kicker that I remember was when they did the Sisters of Battle one, where they came up with the Sacrosanct suits, whatever they're called, and they leaked all of it accidentally, and they still spent the entire half hour talking about it. And the only thing we saw was Morvenn Vahl, the leader of the war suits, and then they just kept talking about the design of the models we had already seen leaked, and it was just come on guys, let's move on. And then when they were done with that, it's like, all right, preview over. I was very irritated that day. Because it was such a waste of my time.
And when they did a preview event at Gen Con the one year, which now they don't, now they do it at Nova, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
The first 15 minutes were spent on something that leaked. And now I feel like they do better about, if something leaks, they just show it on Warcom.
Yeah.
Don't even include it in the preview event.
I think that's what Dark Angels did. I think someone leaked a page to the new Dark Angels Codex supplement, and we saw the 2 new characters.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, here we go, Christmas Day, release an article.
Yeah. And then none of this was that.
Yeah. This was all new.
But we still have Rumor Engine stuff, and we still have those silhouettes that have not been answered.
Yep. None of those silhouettes in those video were answered. Nope. Right? All 3 of them. The new Kroot, the new Orc, the new Custodes, none of those were shown.
And I just think that all this is that Kroot guy might be a character, maybe even named, although he looked simply dressed, but that's Kroot. They're subservient to Tau. But it could be he's just not a part of that starter set, so they're going to show him when the Codex drops, which is fine. But no.
Yeah.
Otherwise, good stuff.
Oh, that was great. Yeah. So thanks for joining us, whoever is still watching. And if you watch us afterwards, obviously, spoilers or whatever. But thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next Friday for a new episode. We are now publishing on YouTube for the podcast instead of doing videos, which is way less of a problem. It's way easier. So check that out if you want to. There's 100 or so episodes that I've already uploaded today. If you want to go listen to those. So, without further ado,